You wake up with that head pressure and cotton brain fog, so you do the good thing. You chug water. And somehow you feel worse, still foggy, maybe even shakier. You start craving salt like it's urgent. Your heart feels a little fast, but your body also feels weirdly strong and wired. Same routine, brand new symptoms. That contradiction is not in your head. Water can absolutely make the problem feel louder when the real issue is not just thirst. Moving to slide 2. Two different problems can create the same exact I can't think feeling. One is low fluid volume, meaning not enough circulating liquid. The other is low sodium balance, meaning the water you have is not holding where it should. Both can reduce blood flow to your brain when you stand up. Both can kick up stress hormones like adrenaline. Both can feel like fog, pressure, and a racing heart. The win is spotting which one you are in fast, before you keep guessing. Moving to slide 3. Do this quick check the moment you wake up, before you start fixing anything. First, rate thirst from 0 to 10. Then notice dry mouth or dry eyes. Not a little, but sticky mouth, gritty eyes, or needing to blink hard. Next, check the first bathroom trip. Look at color and amount. Small and dark usually means you are behind on fluid. Clear and frequent can mean you are flushing. Now do a standing test. Stand up, stay still for 1 minute, and notice dizziness, tunnel vision, or a big heart rate jump. Last, check your appetite signal. Do you crave salt, pickles, broth, or sour salty snacks, or does salt sound gross? That pattern tells you what your morning is really asking for. Moving to slide 4. When it is mostly dehydration, the clues stack in the same direction. You wake with a dry mouth. Your first urine is darker, and there is not much of it. Headache or head pressure tends to ease after drinking plain water, not instantly, but within 15 to 30 minutes. Your skin can feel a bit less springy, like it stays slightly pinched longer. Constipation often follows, because your body pulls more water back from the gut. The fix is boring but effective. Get water in steadily, not as a single chug. Pair it with your normal breakfast, so it actually stays in you. When those signs line up, plain water is usually the right lever. Moving to slide 5. When electrolytes, especially sodium, are low, the pattern looks different. You drink a lot of water and the fog does not lift, or it lifts for 10 minutes, then comes back. Your fingers can look puffy, and rings feel tight, even though you feel dehydrated. Standing up makes you lightheaded, with a fast, thumpy heartbeat. You may get muscle twitching or cramps, especially calves, feet, or eyelids, and the craving is specific. Salty and sour foods sound amazing, like broth, pickles, olives, or salted citrus. In that situation, more plain water can dilute you further. You usually do better when fluid comes with sodium, in food or a proper electrolyte mix, so the water stays where your body needs it. Moving to slide 6. Here is the water-only trap. You wake up feeling wrecked, you chug a big bottle, and somehow you feel worse. That can happen when the problem is not just low fluid, but low sodium relative to water. After heavy drinking or a long sweaty day, you can be down on both water and electrolytes. If you replace only water, you dilute what is left in your bloodstream. Then your body protects balance by peeing out the extra water, so you keep running to the bathroom, but you don't feel restored. This is why your head can feel floaty or washed out. Your stomach may turn too. Large boluses of plain water can slosh around, especially if your gut is already irritated from alcohol, heat, or hard training. And because blood volume and electrolytes help support performance, the drop can feel oddly fast. You go from "I just need a drink" to "why is my brain not working?" The goal is not to fear water, it is to match what you lost, based on what changed yesterday. Moving to slide 7. So ask one question. What changed yesterday? Start with alcohol or a late night. Alcohol increases urine output and can leave you with less total fluid, plus less sodium. Sleep loss also raises your perceived effort, so the same dehydration hits harder. Next, think about a hard sweat workout. If your clothes were salty or your eyes stung, that is a clue you lost meaningful sodium, not just water. Same with long heat exposure, outdoor work, a sauna, or travel days where you were warm, moving, and underhydrated. Then check your food pattern. A very low-carb day drops glycogen, and glycogen stores hold water. When you burn through it, you lose water and salt faster, and your scale can drop overnight. Finally, scan for new diuretic drinks. Extra coffee, energy drinks, pre-workout, or strong tea can push more fluid loss, especially if you are already on the edge. Once you spot the change, your fix gets simpler, and even the way your headache feels starts to make more sense. Moving to slide 8. Not all headaches are the same, and the style matters. Dehydration tends to feel tight and grippy. Your mouth is dry, your urine is darker, and standing up can make you lightheaded. An electrolyte-leaning problem often feels more washed out. You may have a dull headache with weakness, brain fog, and a vague queasy feeling, especially after you have already been drinking water but cannot get relief. If it is throbbing, one-sided, or strongly sensitive to light and sound, do not force the dehydration story. That can be migraine, a hangover effect, high stress, or something else entirely. Hydration still helps, but it may not be the driver. Also check for neck tension. If your jaw is clenched, traps are tight, and turning your head reproduces the pain, that adds noise to the signal. Sinus pressure can mimic dehydration too, especially with congestion and face tenderness. You do not need a perfect diagnosis. You just need a safe way to test the simplest fix without making nausea or headaches worse. Moving to slide 9. Try a safe 2-step test. Step 1. Take a small amount of plain water, about 200 to 300 milliliters. Sip it. Do not chug. Then wait 20 minutes. If your headache eases and your stomach stays calm, you are probably simply low on fluid. If nothing changes, or you start peeing more but still feel washed out, step 2 is salty fluids. Use an oral rehydration drink, a sports drink, or water with a small pinch of salt plus a normal meal. Again, sip and reassess over the next 30 to 60 minutes. Track symptoms, not theory. Better energy, steadier head, less dizziness, and less nausea means you are moving the right direction. If nausea worsens, stop pushing fluids and slow down. The best fix is the one your body tolerates. Moving to slide 10. With electrolytes, sodium is the main lever for most people. Start small, then reassess. Think a single serving of an electrolyte drink or salty food with water, rather than megadose powders. Food first works well because it gives sodium plus some carbohydrate and protein, which improves tolerance. Options like soup, salted rice, eggs with toast, or yogurt with a salty snack can be enough. Be cautious with high-dose electrolyte packets that deliver multiple grams of sodium at once. They can upset your stomach, and they are not appropriate for everyone. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, uncontrolled blood pressure, or you are on fluid or salt restrictions, do not self-experiment with aggressive sodium. Aim for steady improvement, not a dramatic fix in 10 minutes. If the pattern is not improving or you feel unusually unwell, it is time to treat it as more than a hydration problem. Moving to slide 11. If a headache breaks your normal pattern, treat it like a red flag until proven otherwise. If it is the worst headache of your life, sudden, explosive, or peaks in under a minute, get urgent care now. Do the same if you faint, feel confused, can't stay awake, or someone says you're not making sense. Chest pain, a racing or irregular heartbeat, one-sided weakness, a droopy face, slurred speech, new numbness, or trouble walking are not dehydration problems to push through. They are emergency symptoms. Fever with a stiff neck, a new rash, or severe light sensitivity can point to infection. New vision changes, especially with eye pain, need same-day evaluation. A new headache in pregnancy or postpartum, after a head injury, or while on blood thinners also needs prompt medical help. Your job is not to diagnose. Your job is to notice the pattern break and act fast. When you respect the red flags, you protect your brain, and you also stop the cycle of guessing wrong and repeating the same crash. Moving to slide 12. To stop the repeat cycle, match what you drink to what you lose. After heavy sweating, water alone can dilute sodium and leave you feeling washed out, headachy, and weak. Use your body as the guide. If you were dripping, had salt crust on clothes, or your weight dropped after training, replace fluid and include sodium. That can be a salted meal, broth, or an electrolyte drink. Then keep normal eating. Plan alcohol, do not guess. If you drink, pair it with water and a salty snack, and cap the dose early enough that sleep stays intact. Anchor your day with morning light and a steady wake time, even on weekends, because big shifts make headaches easier to trigger. Keep caffeine timing consistent too. Same window, similar dose, and avoid the late day catch-up. Small routines beat big rescues, and they set up a simple check-in you can run the moment you wake up. Moving to slide 13. Here's your morning decision tree. If urine is dark and you feel dry, drink water and reassess in an hour. If you drink water and feel more washed out, crave salt, or get dizzy when you stand, add sodium with food or an electrolyte and eat a real breakfast. If standing still makes you lightheaded, pause, hydrate, and do not drive until steady. Then adjust tomorrow, not someday, by matching sweat, salt, sleep, and caffeine. If this helped, subscribe for more practical health checklists. Comment with your most common morning symptom. This content is for general education and is not medical advice. If you have severe symptoms or think you may be having an emergency, seek immediate medical care. Stabilize glucose. Unlock real energy.